Mr. Speaker, it is in the road sector that we have registered the greatest infrastructure achievement. I know that the word unprecedented is often used with careless abandon in our public discourse, but I use it carefully and purposefully. In the 5 years of my government, so far, more roads have been built, improved, and upgraded than at any equivalent period under any government in the history of Ghana. Some 10,885 kilometers of new roads have been constructed in these 5 years. Let me mention, Mr. Speaker, that yesterday it was my honor and great pleasure to have commissioned the Tamale interchange. The first such interchange in the northern sector of our country, which the people of Tamale gladly celebrated. I considered it to be a most satisfying birthday present. We intend to continue with the building of roads around the country to accelerate the opening up of our country. I cannot purport to speak about the state of the nation without addressing some critical governance issues that have featured in recent public discussions. Certain elements have attempted to advocate coups d'etats as the answer to the problems of the nation. We came through a long and tortuous journey to arrive at today's consensus on a multi-party democracy. But the last 29 years of our Fourth Republic have shown that this has been the most productive period since our independence.
Anapaya mu atia mu akwabade Adom TV so Nnawotwe Yi dwumadie bre na so sede onim se Nnawotwe bi awie ye ne nyanto wase bobo ansam no de di him no Nnawotwe de di mu akotene no na yenya abotre na ya biebie mu adi ho nkomo de sefatase ye wesa no fikofiko manfo te ase no ne ya ne sa ewo Adom TV so na medi na na sei ampofo ya no pa dwumadie metenam de ama Chief Jerry Forson ene dwumadie ba bedie no ye wo yera penimpa woko NDC amanyukodu mu a ono ena eda IT ano ede emma wono mu ye Osai Kwame Griffith director of IT ma NDC na Dennis Abuaji Miracles kane abankrach penimo manfo wo ekwapem of ensem egu apron so no emienu ye be State of the Nations address unim say omen amra no article 67 ehye omampani se afidi ahase no was say what the Omei Jina Brenny Bobre no eba ebeto omanfo enem sifo no e ka omanfo enem sifo na members of parliament so the representatives of a year omanfo no from the various constituencies 275 constituencies no enunti kwambi aso no na e was say oba na odi Omei tibia no baba tudwa na eno ena omampani be ye no ensem odi tudwa no ebi hodmo as I speak they are still in contention omanfo ebi debate wo ho as to say eye no kre anase enye no kre even abra ode eye State of Nation address no to dwa wie nyina no yiro hiring address Adom command ban deni eka to the face of the president say he doesn't think that that's the true reflection of said Ghana etie san say amanfo aho kira wo mu komu nankasa no omampani twabere ekata so a wan hyeda anka eho asem eno da nchen a the passage of the E-Levy controversial E-Levy ekoso na no Tuesday che say na nipa dodo na no ebi ani watermali interchange ye pa hontoma bi so ani wa Nigeria sansani o crucial World Cup ye play-off encounter with Nigeria for abre no mabo 0-0 ha ntino na mo na kokoso ho se na ene ma so koso o membership ye fie na ekwan a ye fa so e pass E-Levy no no so argument ni agitation say ba ho say na parliament ni quorum obetimi e dey take this decision no eno so another issue e be nyanto wase ne bia mu na no pay na yahwe eno nti within the next 2 hours na ne entena na your issues a ye bia mu na yahwe bia answers bi eno no ubehia ana questions bi ene na mutrim no betimi anya ho answers wa but before say beba mpanimfo so no ye won komodi ahodo enim ye manfo omonten so the court of public opinion ye nkoni ntie kakra na ye ba ye den komodi na nkasa ahyehyɛ so
kubenu ye nyabiwa afra wo mu ne kofa free on the abase na first no na kubenu kana mton tusi ba say E-Levy ni no kubenu ite bibia akosoro car no first na metia 6 million say kubenu car no say metia be 8 million to 9 million bibia anko ye brenso ana say bibia anko kubenu first kana mton tusi we say first na mton tusi yo ba say e ko be 3 city no ba ku 3 city na mton abane moye
Vidia make us savings party me saving me sika o mobile money bi on buy say ba no say e urgent say obi be sen ni sika bi ama me dia no de den aye be pay ayempo.
As for the E-Levy, what they were saying they were going to use the money for, as for that one I agree, but they will not use it for that purpose because already the monies they take from us, the taxes, whatever, we don't see anything, any use of it. Look at the Nkwanta Road and another E-Levy again, taxing the poor person doing something in the village just to maybe earn a living and help the child in school, and you'll be taxing this thing to that money to that E-Levy.
Enti amanfo ni bia wo otimantamu ene omaimu na wote se omo ekere omadwen efa ene akoso na wotwe ni mu no ma yenko na ye ni parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Paka Wilson eni nkomo na yenhwe de ekoso abedwafie ho se be binya clearer picture as we zoom in say ibedi enkomo no Kwesi Paka Wilson anope me mwachi mwakwa baba na Nnawotwe so Adom TV
Ebusia Josepha nchake sepa koma eno ebusia fo nyina
na me expect say anope me from now say Ghana JC but all the same so here
me hoye
all right Nnawotwe una na ubutu parliament ho na de ekoso ho parliament na yebepese obebom tofa de se fatasi bisa na wo kiremu yie no ye bisa ma wa kiremu yie amaye.
Okay, ma etie frontier say minority for no and Adom Kumano in the last 3 months from December on in economy no omaka say E-Levy no dia ombe tuetia na omumpe surprises bia because time na eba floor of parliament no the majority for no etwe sign ntomo twe sign no Dom Kumano, that is a minority for no, the Biano Mobisa said that Bena E-Levy in the Beba. Until almost every notice, say, I'm pay surprises bia, I'm pay at Bibia, Ebia, and the Yabejuma, your name say E-Levy no, Ebeba, na fe, and I'm say Parliament, Omutimi, almost Shambra, Omutimi Sambra in one way or the other procedures. Now, what they are about to say, oh, Nanka, and the E-Levy no, but and the Yaya is the E-Levy no. But I'm saying no ambanisa because Tuesday no na we share other paper na say it's a parliament for omobe juma and nyoma ombe for sadan iti we share other paper na the say E-Levy no ehye but omoba week ni mo no impenifo na kan trom somebody discuss E-Levy inti we ema minority leader Haruna Dusu ni bufuye pa ema na ke kan sem kire majority for no say sebi omumbu minority no because omina no ye MP say E-Levy no baswa at least and get some bomb kokko na so nya hwe omo a surprise omo die na so omo ready say ombe koitia na parliament embre no mo kire say we the motion the bar or say MPs a debate Nti speaker Emma Hokwan, Emma MPs no debate here, and of course, NDC for MPs no say E-Levy no say badia and how bebre and a break Ghana for. Sounds so now majority side no so say E-Levy the bar ya dia e be boa o mani yi san say yesika sam no akwa atwe kakra ye wo ahoyehia mu no tino E-Levy no be ma eye o man no yesika sam no etumpon kakra. Iti debate ni wie ye no ena eye Haruna Dusu ye na dwene se no me debate bi no ono ne nkofo NDC for no ade a vote no omo nka ho bi iti ne bebi omo du no ade a omo free chamber no amenka say we at the big surprise at the breast speaker name and majority for no because majority for no is so and that say CBA NDC for na kasa no ade a ombe boycott the consideration of the E-Levy. It's the OMP, no, and majority leader. Share speak and say, on for question no and to that. It's no Bonebe kind of perform say put the question. It's the majority leader can say, Mr. Speaker, I urge you to put the question. It's the and it's for no AP, you know, and a speaker a put question no. It's a put question no. And our own I for no MPs ni Kase I it do say kase no obian kase no but mamen kase sad time no so na NDC MPs no e bi da so chamber nim na omo pie efri eye chamber nim na oba parliament do no ye kitwa bi ntino nipa bebre entimi nwem at a time so some call one by one ntina kakra eda so e wo chamber nim na we na MPs before no say and na me say na NDC for kakra e wo chamber nim ade e friend korum chese ne pa dodo ye hia ma say ye be E-Levy na tumo no na NDC for no want no chese na almost do sa de pa dodo no enu chi ne E-Levy no ya party NDC for so person mo chese ye ka sa ye nka no say ye wo ho say ye wo ho the record na chese ye nka nti say ye wo ho say ni ho enu chese ye nka nti no mo MPP for no munni sa dom na mu hia no to pass the E-Levy munni it's here na kwa she say wentwi NDC for at the court say court na ehembra say ye ka say ye take decision e wo parliament ye hia nipa dodo 138 at least because MPs no 275 no we half year 138 it's not less than half and more than half into more than half no 138 airport na NPP4 at the time no almost 136 in the chamber 136 because na kojokum any chamber at the time sa assembly see but you share vote and proceedings in no almost just kojokum not within the precinct of parliament and until not a present until no say na 137 into we share 137 na send the Supreme Court for a ruling do 138 into way and NDC for no at their court say Supreme Court womwa say E-Levy no ya pass and I am pass here because MPP for no money a tom no here say no be ya on be pass E-Levy no it baby ye do no na mama say one interesting thing happened over parliament a vote and proceedings essentially na a recorded minute of the previous day. And you might see the previous day, not person ni here pa and a vote and proceedings I recorded. Now I'm for me sure what to say now NDC MPs be what check any chamber now vote and proceedings in the bar in fact more copy vote and proceedings in the bar say NDC MPs on what channel they mark you more absent we vote and proceedings
okay
they mark you more absent it's what share omo me present na and omo me ba chamber no me present na and na wa we absent no so no you capture say we absent na sa NDC on what channel me ehun so no mo chamber dem sa ebenada no na we call that vote and proceedings na ba ni say na omo absent nti NDC penifo ebufu yi pa in fact Muntaka Mubarak can't send me to the clerk of parliament. So here. Say, me say, Papa no, one MPP for no, akoye kanana. Sebe omo de sike bia hye nsase ena ohun se
okan se omo de sike bia hye nsase asin se waje adamudie bi na oye nioma bi
wo ye ka se bonika se he's been compromised.
Okay.
He's been compromised.
Okay.
Nje ka se compromise o je se ye bibia ema wo no wo ye nioma bi akọ bi afa
ama wago nemu anaso asesa onsa.
Exactly.
All right.
It's these were the words of Muntaka Mubarak said. The clerk of parliament, has been compromised, and that he is partisan. Woye amayosem ewo chamber. Na clerks for the insan komo dia komo nya amayosem. Omo independent, omo neutral ewo chamber. But sada no because say your market NDC MPs are absent in it. No mo fi say eye boapayo se ne be ya amanfo no be hu say sa watwe no NDC MPs watwe no akọji bibi efi pro nti no mamba iti no ekoye ne say saade a yan corrective proceedings no na omo hwe say sa nipa 8 no omo din abase no omo ye present nti speaker Eshe Clark no say ono agisa speaker wo hwe bia speaker nti na wone eye Cletus avocat ena hwehwe ni mu iti say yan fa say speaker no what chairman na won hwe bebia akra enam se wo hwe nanim nti no obehun Cletus avocat na Cletus ya man absent in the speaker name ka say one who Cletus wa Cletus contributed to the debate and you know in fact wrong is on because we absent into one agasa apologize say at the massa NDC MPs on what no and also Clarks and say almost say they also omo no pepe and the system is been established says 8 NDC MPs or no more chamber and you say omo ewa bonte but I can say the deputy majority leader Alexander Fayemake one also so one find easy kra one chairman Muntaka one also chairman say na Muntaka can in fact enye mbra mistake na ba adentina obeka say sebe obi ama na bibi na oye bibi die tia NDC4 na momo person mo de vote and proceedings no edeko court e betimi correct na mam na mo de court then so ye de enim say na ye was sa nipa dodo na o say take decision no na ye was sa nipa eno nti no na abeke bia ye de ye nti no sansem mu na just force on the E-Levy it ye hwe nimu say NDC4 no court be free asem no na fe omonsam mbeka no omde atuga na mameka so omo very confident say enam say court na nka say din kan eboa the issue of Justice Abdullahi asem on the quorum no dia Supreme Court no and so e be boa in their favor ombe rule say NPP for omo ye no enyambra etiambra enu no E-Levy no yembongo into these are some of the things that NDC for omo hwe enimu but NPP for are very confident say omo they had the numbers now when the party don't know somebody take a decision and you know they have faith in the judiciary say yeah NDC for the almost some call when ma omo gbegu it's ye wa twemu na mameka say parliament nyame adoma Tuesday ombe call recess E-Levy was the main agenda as a approve E-Levy na yet wo ye dey nye hwe it's you know MP say nyame adoma benada ebe joada benada ebe ya omo be kwa huntie na for some time ansana omo sign aba nti we no ma be a course so ewo in Bashebadwam within the weekend
paka maye na wase em say nsem no wodi bibia ahyem de amaye nti no ye do besia bibia ni na ho behia se ye besa to nsafro beto nsafro pakosi Paka Wilson na oye parliamentary correspondent wote say ye ne no edi enkomo no but ma yema yenuanom enkremufo nyina wo memu so no trinkwa na yesre twedi amponyankropon ala ahoden emfama mo sabre ya wonmu afri akiriwia ase no bosome akomkyere edwumadie no afri ase eno nti emwa bia so a won so ba bia wo bia obetimi di aboa yenuanom enkremufo wo wonmu empaibo ebremu bia ibe nso hwetwifiri wo makwan mu na yensra ho mmere mu ahoden mu sebe ya akomkyere no omo betimi aye ede akwakosi awiye na inshira efiri trillion ponyankopon ala ho no eba bia so nyina so mgidiye na ma wetene se ye nkremofo mpaebo a fa dodo na no mo sre ye mpuntuo ene kan kro de mo man nti no na eduru bra omo ye kiri wiase ya wo se ye de onu ana ye tawo mo achi na omo etimi eyo ne sa eya se kwa me mesa mo achi amakwa babiem na wapom te sen
ya me adawro ma me ho ye pa
ya twede mponyankopon ase NDC so far arrangement ko say fa mo branch elections ni elections e o mo animu no
oh ye gusu den say ye call back to the field for them say last week ya ne ba for Ashanti region e ko ye enwuma bi ni nyina no ye say yesiesie ye boa ye ho ye be ye elections ni ade no but no know say ye prepare fie e make sure say bi antawantawa bia wo no yesiesie na kama nti saa siesie no amu na yeguso nti say akaka krabi kete ni awie ni nyina
okay
na just say the elections no ahyehyɛ so
okay na just say me tiri o kana sia na mo mpese mo be go ahead with the elections abra bia issues bi
sanity and sembi wo ha mintimi fa ntudwa
because e bi wo no mo a ekọ election ni mo ahwe na generate ama akọji mo nsem na escalate
ye nua MPP for ko wo mo die won ma mo ho ye se ye nyina wo man mu ni ye hu se kan ne tuo ni ade
to ato se kan asore
nyesem ketwa
party office ni painting ni green ni ade sa na muso mani age ana
se ko ba sa no anya se yan ni age na emu no e kire se obi a ono
so mu nyama na hwie agu sa
na ono an fie no wontimi nsiesie ye no sa akuo no ye de o man ne hye ne nsa de beba na abai de me kan ase
se wo so mu drop
sanity
se ono antimi nkura ni fie
sanity obi a wontimi nkura ni fie no den ne de o mamu no hye ne nsa ne kyese sa nipa no wo de o man ne hye ne nsa na de obehuna ne yehu se me kan ase ene se bibia atu atesa sese o mai atete apansam ya yehu de yefa de ato hin so ho ne beche no enti ni nyina no eye suaye bi ma ye nyina Ghana fo nyina se obi wo ho na se bi ono ane bra no mo onu yi a yemfa o man no enye den enhye ne nsa sanity
all right hono de o ka se twi kasa no se ya na nti ase ni bi o mo ne bra yi a
se ya bebu eno nkire se ko ye kohwini na de kire ni se
na mpese o kire mu yi
de kire ni se te se won mo koye won mo afie
okay in relation to that
thank you
in that
context
in that context
men ka se o mampani ye kohwini men ka sa
Matias it's good say what's him because asem ne ka no any twi kasa no say the city no
se sa na tie kura no a why o mampani wuntimi nka de me ka ase enti no na sa na ye be ka
I just say kwa me me the kura say ne wo ne the resource person you choose you from NDC E-Levy is about IT any moon sem no nti yem fan komo no emfiri E-Levy fam no yedi kan mogitum se o mind de ye de to na ye meboa
sanity
na IT so is the way to go eno ne brofo azise moka mo IT for
sanity
nti se ye hia to na ye befa IT kwan so na ye de age a anka ho atwede bone menti ase bebrebe no efiri
yedi kan omampani abedi akire Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia aka asembi August 2020 o se ukase mumu transactions no se mumu yedi tue sika ne yedi di sika nkuta ho no se ukase wodi eto beto so a na wonu ma ye hiafo pa no na wo de to ene because hiafo no na ta yusu ne kese na menene ya adwene
in 2020
August of 2020 no kan sa time ye beto aba ena nkrofo ka se ya anmunya ono beba be taxi mumbo na se be ya wo mo be ka kire nkrofo so mo ba wo mo mfa tax eto bi antomo mu so no eno hu no share sa bon August 2020 na afesu so no
Was it specific to a contest? And I say, in general terms.
Say,
contextual, understanding is very important.
But Madam, video where on social media, we are booking come the people and my now the woman say, or can say, a bit no more can say, or no the 2 about 2 momuso. None the or can see the piece. Sadian, Emma so, Mfuaso as a children say. Say, Oka say, would the 2 mumu swa, and good would swa. Now you're here for 1 man. And now open sika agie.
August 20th, as I okay, interview or Peace FM Nana.
Aye.
All right.
San Wakano. Video. Very good. Na Oka sa semno. I send be a menu man penny body at as a Chinese say. Would ye young fase a yanfu Eddie Momo, Eddie Sikankuta who dear Granton chain. So shemwa Momo no. Eye bebia enkrofo first of all wo betimi aka se momo eye krabia enkrofo kran wo sika ti se obi di ni sika ahye sumi ase ana se obi di ni sika akoto na account mu wo bank nipa yi bebre wo ha won sika no ebi adwa wo die ni ade no eye momo so en won keep because so here nya fe ni wo be fa ka akọ bank akodi lie so akwa yiska enti ho na no na se wo de betua kakra na wo de
adetua
sanete enti no te se broni enunti broni frɛ momo no wallet electronic wallet HSA wallet HSA ayi opesi e
shobuto mu a wo de usika hye
sanete so no mi chen na opesi musika de e den ya ka se wo yi opesi musika de akomo bia na de who yi sika free pass me e kwaju sika e wo so ya jo tax wo so na che se eno no e ya de bia e ha adwene kakra dia toso mienu in taxation one of the cardinal principles said to agigye no ade ba ko a ehu hia pa ne se pepepe ye bebem roni se fairness se benua menu mienu nyina kogo a se ekobu petrol se mesi ya ma 200 oso si ya ma 200 na wo di sika efiri ubotom tuaye no yanto tax 1.5 bia me de me yi me momo edi tuaye no yesi ateme na chese ho no pepepe ya amem. It is discrimination against obia onu yusu momo e hono momo no ye hunu say first for ma kam momo no say ma define ne say electronic wallet
yeah
the same momo no so betimi define ne say mode of payment mode of payment so obi di sika obi di check obi say okay me dey minister check me dey me momo fa no mama me na me ntwa ma osisi a so no akofa momo say fa no mama mantua ma osisi ano on dey also obagene so e hososo no na e ha adwene menya ade ba kokora eno kora na de sese ne na chese atu ntensen kora ene se wofa Ghana ya tax regime sese ya obi to ade a 19.5% tax and edaso dada 12.5 VAT 2.5 ye get fund 2.5 bio NHI ansana COVID 1% tourism levy 1% okani nyina bomwa 19.5% enti semeto ade sika cedi oha broni si ye friend 100 cedis na sa wo de tax nyina ka ho a na ekwakwa ye 119 cedis ena me tua na babia E-Levy no etie no sa 119 cedis no udi momo etua no afa na wo betua tax 1.5 plus telcos no so de omo de na 1 says omo de about 0.75 nje afa na obetua 2.5 asa aka 100 no ho na 2.5 no so asa akoto 19.5 let's say double taxation tax no kura wo say yedey atua tax e wo ho wanyina ekwase abuo excuse my language so ne meche say wo abamu a wo tuminti no wo fi say obetime titimi yesa age yesika ekwan bia wo peso bia obetime atitumi yesa age yesika eno esoso ka ho bi as one of the reasons why a friend say na enye yenko asabe enye ni sifo nko na ehunamane o de edika no meka say so wo hwe E-Levy ya omde ba ya Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications Wama petition ya parliament say womo mfuaso these are experts in the field of telecom womo adwuma no E-Commerce Association womo so aye press release womo kire say abanya wo see one the digitalization aye important to him no sa aban no ono aso see oba be taxi mode of payment electronically na wo see the digitization agenda na trust as it say wo taxi mode of payment digital mode of payment no now all discourage the use of a friend say the digital
you shot yourself in the foot
sanity enti wan kasa wo se body aye enti anybody wo kro no aso so number bi say no say na man body kra no ye fertilizer na ye tim kodi aba na je say nyansa bia no excuse my language enim so on meche no eno so na nchen mobile money operators onu so say ha wo so ye koka E-Levy kra de wo madwuma no kra kofom say first pa sabi obi kra person odi sika koma ne ba o school a na odi aye sa no ba ko school ade na ye wom ni say so ba ko school just say wa check bibia ne transportation aka no say momonti ada romanti wo kwa de ohia na Nnawotwe kra otimi de ma no because Nnawotwe ne so obetimi ayedai asa so de ebi asene no so enti ama momo transactions no so ayedai akofom enti wenum nyina ka ho bi ena ya a friend say oman nyina enye NDC fo nko a asori agina say sebe enye ayi wo kasa wo hieska ayo man puntu a na no kire se betutu ebotom yesika endi sande ye nimu enye den enya adwene enya si E-Levy yenye yi na se ebre wo ho a enka ensama menuane de tu edwan efa the passage of E-Levy kamaka ho asem so himeche no de di kan se wo kasa wo hwe eno me course ewo parliament ya na asifimiye asicheni say sabe yesi broni di ade bi afre no shifting the goalposts yenuanom MPP for there say me na do danko akufo ado be ye president ya the way am hu no ase me hu different kakra ase
MPP for no
yes this new brand of MPP no ase titrasemne yenti obia attitude so yenti obia ansensem no wo mudodo ye di kan menua kasa paka kasa no o kire mu na ebi o most about 99% of what he said me ne adwen but me won kire mu kakra fa no ma bibire hu ye di kan o se ye boy MPs na baso na se NDC ni bi atiemia e wo se won mo fa asema mekan omuntie ni ye pa no mo so ede aka wansem asekire ne se osefo no pese oye kana nan komo bi ebe hyemma nkrofo dwen se sebe ye MPs no kura no ebia won mo ni MPP fo no akoye baako entina won mo sorry free chamber ho entesa as a technical knockout and won dia ma MPP fo no enchire mu ne say de di kan se wo fa MPs nyina NDC a omo ye 137 good 137 no asem befa ne say ayi asem ewo eda ye member back so James Kwesi honorable Kwesi
Asin enough
MP on my court one minute court time one minute E-Levy that day no see no na the party no was in a process one file stay of execution be man na be atimi ide aba parliament na so wakase wo bu court mra no so aba parliament ya na onu anu ye de onu nko anu ayede abra stay of execution no enko effecta yenye nwie ya na cheso wo bu court mra so NC for so ye de mra aye adwuma na emo de mra ye kana na sisi a ye ntra ho ma onye den onye sa very good inti say uka se onu nka ho a na abe 136 ye normal crying that day no one see nipa 10 a omo you know clerk of parliament no se ekobusa no kwan fa so nipa TV anyone hwan nyina cameras nyina show so omo wo ho nanso omo ko record won se omo ye absent enu na wo se ebusa won enu se no enya asem a wo se ye do to nche ase kire ni se
I think say speaker of parliament intervening here say a mistake they will correct it
na say speaker there why panimu oh I say wo hin wo fie na asem asie na yire no mienu ku ono no de asema obeka ne se asema eho na ade asomdwe beba enti no ye bebo na ba so se o take his position nenso so no sebe ya en boninsi na ntoa so nsi enti no ena asotwen wo ho de me ka what ase ase kire ne se such an important a year betimi divide your mind ukotena ho na se wo de wadwuma kodi agoro se ya na o se o man no ye de chew da bi ye ntimi fa nche o man nye they make country I say IGP akoda friends state of the nation as police ni constable and akoda on duty ade na kede be ye no people have not thought about that what the uniform code of justice for the police no what is the recommended punishment for people who sleep on duty they make country say the clerk of parliament has to be punished for such a mistake and kebet me echo eja to o man mu they make country say to dey me friend no nchen yen na chese ma church ma be say that day near 136 MPP for there the independent kan ho na so bia o ha o benya 138 adwa safuni ho ana MP ba ko so on tiapo nyankopon
your chieftaincy minister
minister for chieftaincy nyankopon sa na yare e bompa ye ma no se nyankopon ensa
na say na o ambulance mo se den ho
na say wo ambulance ma you are not in the chamber
and according to a reporter no a speaker stated emphatically say he was within parliament so per omo ankasa rules ni ade no che say ho
ani ese asema wakan mi amfanto adakam na me refer wo sa asema wakan yamfanto adakam because there's a Supreme Court ruling and no chere bibi foforo
okay
they make out say yamfanto adakam so very good me refer enti MPP for na chere say wamakoka 136 sa 136
o dia tum say 136 to the extent say ebia na papa no wo ho a
papa no e so say papa no wo ho no o chamber 137
okay
and ono standby o enti wo de ne ba standby say bus ye beto aba
okay
na nkoma ye den ahwili ne de naba because ono ba so yare da hokra na o ma ne saso say ma vote a wa vote o MP krojin na akoye 137 against 136 enti senka MP for na hunu sa nyansa no and wo mo course me eto aba no a enka legitimately ka pass E-Levy say passing ni illegitimate and family kwam me chechiro mu
me pese me tepa
very good now what is the background of this the kind asema nsi dan yesi enim na de ban November 26 2021 parliament tena say won ba approve budget grow ya E-Levy woni and a finance minister ebe sre say wo pese process no ye hoto chese ye nyina me ntoaso na ope time any minority eye dom kuma no wo parliament no adi nkita ho ansana on matoaso and a speaker say okay sa request na wa make no kra no ye fan to vote ye do to vote no na parliament aboagu say won betoaso won mpene ema na nyai nti they voted against the request say
mo twentwen so ansan
sanity won ka sa pe na ai minority busa for BB say vote should be taken using by division in protest of the finance ministers asking to leave. No, say at that point, no, finance minister new free chamber hono on twaso. So montiase and no before until wamo sorry koy. Wamo sorry koy no. And speaker suspended sitting kakra. And was ba enti now NDC MPs are now over minority no me 137 and a speaker put two question for approval of parliament budget no and a vote to say against the motion in nature say parliament budget no
rejected
budget no nipa 137 no and no rejected budget no yanka say obi tino office for parliament and also obi were premises within the parliament because your friends MPs no and yes so free one and obi atun kako they were all within the premises of parliament. Majority of them were within the premises of parliament. Case equals Supreme Court Justice Abdullahi versus the Attorney General. Now what did the Attorney General say? I mean what is the Supreme Court say on page 19? So here page 19 and I would want to read page 19 Supreme Court a ruling no na ohwe actually say first of all say ye be fa asem e wo parliament e de aye adwuma no e wo say ye to so aba na sa abato no nipa MP dudu a e wo kɔ a e beboa ma aba no di mu e wo say wo mo brofa yes, so you were 275. Just a funny year, 137.5. 0.5, nipa you need 0.5 room. And you run in
say 138.
138. And the chest says, Sauko Bopo Biana chamber nim. Nipa 138 in moi. Unicorum. They make what I say. Unicorum. Yanka said, Nipa ni be or premises or what? And I said, nipa ni bi aye hwan ni ade yanka ne sa yesi woni quorum ayi na even cry if you look at the ruling I will say page 19 of the ruling I say there is a second provision found in article 1041. This provision applies specifically and exclusively to voting to determine matter in parliament and then he full stop then he says article 1041 provides as follows: except otherwise provided in this constitution, matters in parliament shall be determined by the votes of majority of members present. And voting, emphasis, bold, with at least half of all members present.
At least in Pononia, it should be half.
Yes, at least half. No, say yenche nipa mufa. Nature say nipa 138. Ewo ho na omo to aba sa nipa 138 se omo ni ho a omo beto aba no a
we Supreme Court
ruling eno na ye fa so
that was just last month
9th of March
last
9th of March ya na ruling no bae so enti NDC for ye te wa ye kon da ho se ya reject budget no Supreme Court say they be reject any year because munipa na o no mu nuru 138 and the other people boycott we enti say na tie dia we will reject any year just the budget stands unrejected good nti ekoba asa no na akoye se yen so sa mre no yen so ye sorry ya ye minority leader onmunyam for Haruna Idrisu e kan say the caucus, the entire caucus as NDC minority in parliament, we are unable to proceed. We are unable to proceed with further proceedings in this matter. And therefore, Okane 3 times in his speech, so on the we are leaving. Inti ede na mu nipa 136 de oyare edam pami manfa na meka ho eye den na mutimi tenase mu amode court judgment e ba he ni ede na mutenase se na de
ese mete de okana se a at that moment na oka se we are unable to proceed no se na nipa ni bi omu pie no nipa ni bi o hompo a it doesn't count.
It doesn't count, and I'll tell you because there's a precedence.
Because that's the reference that the majority are making. Say at the time Speaker put 2 questions. Some members of parliament from the minority side are still in the chamber.
Meba, Mami Checho. 2009, STX motion. Minority leader or say chairman Sabonsu Kroya and now
majority Korea issue. No.
Thank you. Or indicate say minority members were walking out. In fact, Frederick Opariansa. Who was the minority chief whip? Omuja and Wachemba ho. Say no raise issue with quorum. Opajan is say Okasa pe and Alfred Agbesi majority chief whip. Eka say he even has no locus. Otinisi timuno he has Oman prekram nankasa say he has no locus in the sense say the majority leader say the entire caucus are abstaining.
They see them say
that is the implication. But let's grant it. It is not the case. But once I only see contemporary friends say now I'm an idea. Adikan. It's so only
in this case, contemporary MPP form.
Sanity. In contemporary party. Anyway, I don't intend to degenerate these things into let me redraw that statement.
Okay.
Good. Minia. One of them say, yeah, read the idea and they call for parliament. They call for a friend or more walking out. First of all, the process had several. There were about 4 or 5 questions that were put. By the time the first question was put to Nukrampona, which a friend saying the second question were about 5 members that were in the chamber. They were walking out too. And Nukra said per president, the fact is said caucus now redraw among members they don't even are not part of the proceedings.
They don't count.
Yes. But really I'm fine so count to Krana. As the second reading was being taken, members no better 5 now. After that, there was clause by clause amendment decisions that was made, which took a long time. And so the third reading, which is the critical approval, that time here, Pemba Bakureno. And to the young fan said, second reading, Ukraine, remember sleeping young coy. And over counter him say, what about the final approval, which took a long time for that panel approval? Third reading to take place.
Just say, Kwame, in this, do you blame the majority? The Speaker of Parliament, who happens to be an NDC member, or because say more experienced than anybody in the chamber when it comes to parliamentary proceedings in Honke Kahona. Are you telling me, say, Unim Sansemi okay?
Mama Kasam Cho. Speaker of Parliament, Speaker of Parliament, so when they no. He believes in consistency. Ronisi consistency. So we are dear saying in the bia. And yes, Kojoba into Wadanano. And yes, Kwabnaba into Wadanano. He wants to be in the interest of fair play.
Even when say Mfamara Kwemo.
What do you mean by?
Okay, Speaker of Parliament, the end you say moon for Mukuroma, won't even take a decision. So even in that,
Good. Time one. Yeah, disapprove budget. Yeah, reject budget. Speaker Kroya na your friend say nipa e wo ho no e 137 open 2 question no me boana open 2 question and open 2 question no Supreme Court ebogu ye on say court na we mako Supreme Court ruling by no nipa bebre aka ho asem say enfam na kwam including the speaker they make out here but enam say yen who say Supreme Court na one more adwuma so mo interpret law no it's okay fine yes you dey be adwuma they make out here say no the same you know so one ko put two question and because say eduru ndc for there o put two question
no me only dey me no nya drink akra to the extent say at the time the passage no the your friend say budget no issue no eda ho no at that time any precedent of say obi akọ even the Supreme Court for an interpretation.
Right.
What I say, it's based on sa ruling nearby ya okay be chair Mrs. You know, of which you speaker or your lawyer.
Speaker na cassette ruling.
Meba, but the fact that cassette ruling in say ubebu ruling so
okay.
Because Supreme Court no enya a ruling asema aba be dane mra.
Let us not even debate it.
No,
let me concede the point. Say speaker. Let me concede that point. Even though I have a different view of what happened.
Okay.
You understand? But let me concede that point. The point still remains.
But to us, but my man for now was Dennis Abuaji Miracle or MPP rep. Oba Hanum say himself crowd by Uhuno. And I'm yeah, but you baby our fast here and we are trying to reach him and we are not getting him. So anything I say yene yero se kwa me Griffith nkwa na edi nkomo sisi en ye hwe ni mu se obeba na yene na atoaso but onya ma ye de kwan no floor ni nyina ye ode anti ato line so
atoso den oba kra wo mra enu kwa na bebra ye de so cause oba I want to understand or maybe perhaps get to know what MPP will say on these matters.
All right.
Especially Ekoso Nana. So propaganda so na so let me even concede the point. Let me concede the point. Say speaker from it does not invalidate the Supreme Court ruling, and that's where we are now. I want to see the Supreme Court justice no. One more say 137. Anya quorum tino rejection of the budget na entimi masono. I want to see how they will explain this one say 136. Akwa approve E-Levy. I'm on Mampany so in such as here. We are waiting for that explanation as Ghanaians.
Any purpose where bisa said now can figure see NDC on the day number 136 because you're a quiz no
sanity
and MPP paid the okay figures are now no say I just have from Puniwa fans 137 and on the day no say mo transe kra na ankombe pass E-Levy right per numbers na ewo ho no
menua
me ba enti what prevented the minority question amount for bisa no from say I don't so mo person be party na o matranse o mato aba no 137 etia Ghana for nyina say all the 137 members of the minority have voted against it clearly na say o mo mpe na nke no ensolve sa issue we nyina
na mebo mamuso asem
pacho meeting
so on say football offside wom
penalty free kick
wa hwan nyina wo
and it the VAR no so as abanti
sorry we are politics cry anya ni akwadwa ama the edikan no ho na me say NDC amayoko for ene Ghana for wonu nyina we atazo say yem pay E-Levy yem more minority na bazo because omotena ho and they would have legitimized something that is against the will of the people. Hence, their decisions are woman. So it is a feather in the cap of the minority. Say, one more general man who said there be. Say, no, say yet now. And one say 136 now pay me buana. Oma kofa ayi
independent.
We are friends saying. Your order hospital ayi so yi da bia me ka me se nyankopon sa ne yare omofa ne ba no empamu kra na so pagya ne nsa se wa vote a why dey wa vote na akoye dey 137 against 136 E-Levy is passed legitimately. You can't do anything about it. The same reason. Anna, when who say rejection ne ban. So ye dey. Sorry ko ye. We no call court to say quorum ni ho. Nti no sa pass na a rejection no anya adwuma. Enu na assess. When so minority for so sorry ko. Eno dey court, Supreme Court to say, "Mo na mo kan yo say nipa no nuru 138 a ye ni quorum." Di say nipa no nuru 138 yeso so no video ni biblia wo nyina kire say oputu final question no na nipa wo hoye 136. Enti mo mfo madwene mra. Mi ehu. Eye dan na wo kro no na wo se 138 na say ye dey pass mra wo parliament no. Wo ebe de me pese me hu explanation wo mo de be ma wo no be clear E-Levy.
Ba say asem na fe na mo de akompo ye nyantra so ba ta say mo adwen ya mu tutu.
Bi anu na adwen tutu. MPP for no mo create that impression. Say adwen ye tutu. Ya adwen ye tutu. Ya adwen ye one.
Enu ne de
enu ne say ade omo ye no the ruling of the Supreme Court on the 9th of March is an illegality.
Okay.
Whether the speaker was part of it or not part of it. And you should understand the tight nature of the speaker.
No. Mate dynamics na say until Sebia Domi kwa benyam na she be nyadwa safo be ba omo be so 138 to form quorum per Supreme Court ruling no.
Woman kwanti bi nyahwe e wo parliament. Woman kwanti bi nyahu e wo parliament ho.
Until so be ba.
Sanity eda ye nyina be ka say ye tena fie ye nko parliament no. Hwe nko so parliament. That is the reality.
Enti mo no hu say ho no na egun pa.
There be nyese ho say yes so no, to be honest with you. I was say a boy and crop for number so we haven't abused that. We only use it in cases where we think say it is against the national interest. Sa E-Levy na me catch you say a telecom chamber momo operators e-commerce so o nyina so re tia Ghana for biase E-Levy dem moyen.
But enkomo so ankofo di say we've not heard anywhere ewo mo nkomo mu say ne MPP apasi E-Levy a NDC mo ba mo betwam. And ya mun kam fan kam nkomo no ho.
Because ya ni say E-Levy na pass. You see, you are making a mistake. You are jumping the gun.
I'm not jumping, but if you give the people the feeling, say, oh, okay, say ni can, but still a chin on so be ya. Say nyame eboa ma ya ba. Say munyamba so, mo akeka ne ma bibira mo ba mo be ye. Ana
na me say chin.
Ye onipa bi o mo pra mo kire say e dia mo ba mo do mo betum because of mo ne ma bi o ma ye.
Obi anu wo betima ka say odi obi abetum. Ti o. Wo ka say obe process no emra kwan so a. Ebe ye adwuma. But
microphone because oh yeah more technical but microphone bisa no mo kan
say won say emra de so ye di adwuma krom ha ye fa emra nya adwuma ye nyina mo ye so bia ye say o di tuo ne atitrasem to say ya no mu ye ya so ho e tuo ne atitrasem de be adwuma e mo ye nyina nti o say ye de mra e na ye de adwuma obi am pese atitrasem bia be de e be sie
it's in a possible future NDC government say all things being equal and as you emphasis say enya sa na be yempu but me can E-Levy asem wo court no yentimi nye prejudicial comment bia but akwakoba say E-Levy atena a future NDC government
and nine you don't understand what I'm saying. E-Levy 99 me say Supreme Court
for ban is saying in the unlikely event
I don't like to deal with hypothetical situations.
Okay.
First of all, I'm the director of technology. I don't make policy decision in the sector of finance. So on the and you know it will be wrong. Just like I said, say obi bet na aka say obi ba che kwadwatum. You are not the law to yourself. Won't be yes.
And chintum is different from this one.
Me a director, me who the channel, but still me a the director and listen to me out here too. What I'm saying, I'm the director of technology. I don't make policy decisions on taxation and finance. I don't do that. I don't make policy decisions on taxation.
But more conviction as a party say, enye papa ninti yen ye nyakwanya na ibe ye firi ho.
See the American. You see, you are trying to get me to say, oh, ye betcha E-Levy mu. So on the mechen. And I make us say, me am to studio hey. I don't have the power to say that. Because first of all, E-Levy we don't even believe so pass it. So on the mechen. And number two, we are not in 2025. Or Mampayin John Dramani Mahama, he be sworn in as for the second time as the president of the third time actually as the president of the republic. Let me count as here. Very good. And you know, let us not go into the hypothetical situation here. So, let me count as here. So, something within my realm say, and if we near the idea, I can suggest even that is subject to approval. No, I am not saying say NDC. I'm saying that perhaps the question may not be very appropriate directed at me sitting here.
Yes, I'll be fair to you on that.
Thank you.
Matthias.